The stars wept crimson as the last galaxy collapsed under the weight of entropy. Nebulae flickered like dying embers in a fire long forgotten. In the silence between the screams of dying stars, the Devourer stirred, Galactus, the World Eater, whose hunger could never be sated. Clad in violet cosmic armor that shimmered with the echoes of creation, he stood at the edge of the void, his hands outstretched toward a fragment of reality still clinging to existence. But this was no ordinary fragment. It was a seed of a new cosmos, wrapped in ethereal blue light, guarded by a presence as old as imagination itself. Out of the light stepped a man, tall, golden-haired, cloaked in a suit that shimmered with starlight and folded galaxies across its surface. His eyes pulsed with the intensity of collapsing suns. He was neither god nor man. He was Franklin Richards, grown into his power, no longer a child of Earth, but a sculptor of eternity. "I made this universe, Galactus," Franklin said, his voice resonating across the cosmic membrane. "And I won't let you consume it." Galactus turned his gaze, a black sun of intellect and hunger. "You crafted a playground, child, but I am necessity. I am balance. What you create, I must destroy." But this time, Galactus did not come alone. Behind him drifted a fleet of dead stars, each containing echoes of consumed civilizations. And leading them was Abraxas, the cosmic specter of destruction, freed from his prison, and now bonded to Galactus like a cursed herald. The merger of these forces had caused a ripple across realities, a paradox so catastrophic that even the living tribunal recoiled in horror. Franklin narrowed his eyes. "You merge with Abraxas, you become something worse than hunger." "No," Galactus thundered. "I become finality, far below them, on what remained of New Earth, an artificial world crafted by Franklin to house the last survivors of infinite timelines." Heroes gathered. Reed Richards, older and weathered, stood beside Susan Storm. The Thing, Johnny Storm, and even alternate versions of the X-Men and Avengers looked up into the sky, where space trembled like a drum before war. "They're coming," Reed said softly. "And if Franklin falls, we all fall." Franklin had tried diplomacy. He had tried rewriting time. He had even tried to heal Galactus, to strip Abraxas from him. But the merging had fused entropy with hunger. Creation was being unmade not just physically, but ideologically. Galactus moved first, drawing the residual energy of 13,000 devoured worlds. The sky above shattered as he opened his hand and hurled a black hole lance, a spear forged in the collapsed heart of a dead star. Franklin raised a single palm. The weapon froze midair, time shuddering around it. "I taught time to kneel," Franklin whispered. With a thought, the lance disassembled into stardust, absorbed into his skin. He ascended, no longer bound by gravity or dimensional law. With a single blink, he rewound the moment 5 seconds before it occurred, sidestepping causality itself. Galactus unleashed the Omega Torrent, a wave of antimatter, pure negative energy. But Franklin responded by creating a sun in its path, feeding on the torrent, transforming entropy into radiance. "You always fear becoming irrelevant, Galactus," Franklin said, floating mere miles away now, glowing like a living singularity. "You feared that a creator would surpass a devourer." Galactus roared, and entire realities cracked. "Then let us end this delusion." Suddenly, Franklin entered Galactus's mind, not physically, but through pure thought. Inside, he witnessed Galactus's pain, his endless hunger, the torment of being forced to destroy to survive. He saw the ghost of Galen, the mortal man who once dreamed of a better universe. And within that storm of suffering, Franklin reached out. We could evolve beyond this, together. But Galactus, merged with Abraxas, refused. His mind rejected salvation. The hunger screamed louder than reason. "You are not my savior, Franklin Richards. You are my rival." And in that instant, he expelled Franklin from his mind with a psychic scream that shattered asteroid belts across 5 galaxies. Franklin reeled, drifting in the void. Galactus expanded in size, becoming a planetary titan larger than moons. His voice cracked dimensions. Franklin answered in kind, ascending to a form that dwarfed time itself. Universes bent around them like silk in a cosmic wind. They stood now as living archetypes: Galactus, the destroyer; Franklin, the creator. And between them, the last universe trembled. The void ignited. There was no sound, only the reverberation of force, like gravity itself gasping for air. Franklin, Richards, and Galactus stood at the edge of the last universe. Two deific beings now large in existence, their forms shimmering with abstract energy. Galactus raised a hand, fingers spread wide, and from his palm erupted the eternal maw, a cosmic implosion engine that devoured time, space, and thought simultaneously. The attack hit Franklin squarely, but instead of resisting, Franklin absorbed the strike, unraveling its entropy and reshaping it into a stream of pure creative energy. Then he fired it back, not as destruction, but as birth. Entire galaxies surged from his chest and struck Galactus like meteors wrapped in newborn stars. Each impact echoed with the cries of resurrected civilizations. For every world Galactus had devoured, Franklin made him feel it. The souls, the memories, the lives he had erased. Galactus howled in pain, collapsing backward through an entire dimension. His chest burned with light that wasn't heat, but hope, something he had long forgotten. "You feed on death," Franklin roared, his voice splitting space like a blade. "I am life." Franklin flew forward, drawing from the Starforge within his soul, a metaphysical furnace he had crafted over millennia in solitude. It burned with the power of creation itself, raw and absolute. As he approached Galactus, he conjured a weapon from that forge, a spear of light forged from the will of every universe he had birthed. Galactus countered, materializing the Null Crown, an artifact from the first cosmos, capable of negating divine thought. It hovered above his head, pulsing with anti-existence. With a gesture, he launched the Oblivion Spiral, a vortex of pure unbeing. But Franklin spun the spear and pierced the spiral, unraveling it strand by strand. Time bent. The laws of physics screamed. They clashed. Fists of energy the size of solar systems collided. Each blow flattened stars. Comets shattered. Ancient entities watching from the sidelines, eternity, infinity, the celestials, were forced to look away. Reality itself was being redefined with every punch, every burst of brilliance. Franklin bled nebulae. Galactus roared thunder. For a moment, it seemed Galactus would win. He summoned the Abraxas shard, a piece of primordial destruction, and plunged it deep into Franklin's essence. The wound was vast, stretching across dimensions. Franklin fell, crashing into a collapsing star. Reality flickered. But then, he remembered his father's voice, Reed Richards, whispering in the echoes of his mind. "If anyone can fix everything, it's you." Franklin's eyes opened, and all of him awoke. He stood not just as a man, but as a concept. He called upon every version of himself across the multiverse. From a naive boy who once played with stars to the cosmic sage who negotiated with death itself. They all became one, an absolute being. For a moment, Franklin reached into Galactus's chest, bypassing armor, form, and will, and touched the heart of Galan, the ancient mortal buried deep within. "You were once a dreamer," Franklin whispered. "Let me set you free." And then he purged Abraxas. With a pulse of cosmic harmony, he severed the link between Galactus and Abraxas. The dark god screamed as he was torn from Galactus's being, banished in the White Room, sealed by Franklin's own DNA-coded lock. Galactus, weakened, knelt. The hunger still raged, but now it was bare, vulnerable. Franklin stood above him, light radiating from every pore, galaxies orbiting his form like jewels. "I could end you," Franklin said, "but I won't." Instead, Franklin reached out and rebuilt Galactus. He reshaped his essence, not as a devourer, but as a balancer, a guardian of cosmic equilibrium. The Devourer of Worlds died that day. In his place rose Galactus, the Lifebringer, his hunger now sated by the excess entropy of dying stars, no longer by innocent worlds. Galactus looked up, stunned. "What am I?" "Evolve," Franklin said simply. The universe calmed. Reality began to rebuild itself, guided by Franklin's hands. Earth, though transformed, endured. The heroes below felt the shift in their bones. Somewhere, the one above all smiled. Galactus, now radiant and golden, turned and vanished into the stars, a new purpose burning in his chest. And Franklin, he stood atop creation. A man, a god, a builder of futures. He gazed out at the cosmic horizon, then whispered, "Let there be peace." Galactus is reborn. Abraxas is banished. The cosmos, forever changed.